and welcome to DragonCon 2023. We are here in the Marriott Atrium, and we're about to do a Newbie's walking tour. My name is Sue. I'm one of the moderators of the DragonCon Newbies group on Facebook, and we also do our Newbies events here at Con. We'll do walking tours on Thursday afternoon and Q&A sessions after that on Thursday, and also 10 a.m. Friday morning. And here helping me out today are Kelly and Teddy as ASL interpreters. And so why don't we start out? As I mentioned, we're here in the Marriott Atrium. This is sort of a central hub location for DragonCon. A lot of people are going to be here all weekend long in this space in particular. And we're going to head to the other end of this floor, past the Pulse Bar. You'll hear people talk about that. And stop right in front of what we lovingly call the habit trails. So let's get moving. Made it to the other end of the Marriott Atrium floor. Behind me is the atrium itself, and that is where you will find Star Wars track and puppetry track and young adult lit. Also behind me on this side is the habit trail or the Sky Bridge over to the Hyatt, and on this side is the habit trail to the Peachtree Center food court. That's the way we're going to go now. We're not going to stop in the food court, but head out the front. So let's keep moving. All right, so we have stopped in the Peachtree Center food court. We normally don't do this on a walking tour, but we did want to point out some key differences here if you have a mobility device. We're going to be heading on our walking tour out the front entrance of the food court. However, that is not an accessible entrance. The accessible entrance to Peachtree Center is down this hallway here. And behind our tour, directly behind me, is the Sky Bridge to the parking deck, which is directly next to the Cortland Grand. And that parking deck does have an elevator, so you come in on a top floor, you can take the elevator down and head either to the Cortland Grand on one side or the Hilton on the other. So that is a nice way to get over there. It's not air conditioned like the other Sky Bridges, but it is an option so you don't have to deal with that steep hill on our campus. And we're going to keep heading this way out the front of the food court. We have made it outside. We are directly in front of the Peachtree Center food court. We just came up the escalators. That is also your entrance to the MARTA station here at Peachtree Center. Now, if you look past me about a block and a half that way, that is the Westin. That is where you will find things like author signing, the Apocalypse Rising track, horror track, urban fantasy, military sci-fi. What else is over there? Open gaming is over there, tabletop, LARPing, Werewolf, the Artemis Bridge simulator. There's a lot going on at the Westin, and it tends not to be as crowded as some of the other hotels, so it's a great place to hang out and find seating. Nice time. Also, if you were to head back this way a few blocks, that is where you will find America's Mart buildings 2 and 3. Building 3 is gaming headquarters. You'll find miniatures there, card games, RPGs, more open gaming. Building 2 is your vendor and exhibition halls. That's where you'll also find vendor workshops, the comic book artist alley, and the comic programming, so panels about things like comic books and artists. And now, because it is hot in Atlanta, we're going to head one block this way and go back inside the front of the Hyatt. into the Hyatt lobby and some blessed air conditioning. There are a couple things to point out while we're here. The first is the hallway to the International Tower, which is right over here. If you come in the front entrance of the Hyatt and make a sharp right, that's where you'll see that sign. The Atrium Tower, which is the main tower, and the International Tower link up again on the very bottom floor here of the Hyatt, but not in between. So if you have some programming to get to in International, that's one of the ways to get there. The other hallway / bridge to point out is over here behind the elevators. That is where you will find the sky bridge from the Hyatt to the Peachtree Center food court. One important thing to note, that sky bridge is unfortunately not accessible. There are some stairs. So anybody using a mobility aid, that's not a way to go. Go to the Marriott and then over from that sky bridge. Now, one more thing here at the Hyatt is this other corner. That's where you see the sign that says Market. The Market is, the coffee shop here at the Hyatt, but what's important is what's above it, one floor up. That's where you'll find the Con Suite. That's the Convention Hospitality Suite. That's also where you'll find Con Safety. If you have an issue, if there's something that you have a question about, if you need a prop weapon peacebound, that's where you had its Con Safety, room 222 here at the Hyatt. All right, let's keep moving. All right, so we came down one level from the Hyatt lobby. We are on ballroom level. That is where you will find the Regency Ballroom over here and the Centennial Ballroom over here. If you need some help, there's a handy dandy sign right there. Also down here, in these ballrooms you'll find main programming, including the Masquerade that will be in Centennial 2 through 4 on Sunday night. Event and contest registration is also down here next to the Centennial. It's not set up yet, but it will be. And approximately where I am standing is where you will find the information booth here at the Hyatt. We're going to head downstairs one more time here at the Hyatt and keep going. On the ballroom level of the Hyatt, there are so many levels here at the Hyatt. Behind me is the Grand Hall, east and west. That's where you'll find the art show. Now, relatively new to the art show is the Anime District. It started last year. That'll be on this side of the art show. So come and check that out. Over here are the Hanover Halls. Over here in the Hanover Halls, you will find the diversity track, the filk track, and some main programming. Out here in front of the art show, in front of the Grand Halls, will be, not yet, but will be the concourse stage. There will be programming there throughout the weekend as well. Now, we have one more level. We're headed down to the conference level here at the Hyatt. All right, we have made it to the conference level here at the Hyatt, what many of us lovingly call the bowels of the Hyatt. Over here to my right is where you will find the blood drive. I believe the largest in the country. The Robert A. Heinlein Memorial Blood Drive, I believe is the full name. Don't at me on that, though. Also on this level, you will find the kids track and author readings and several workshops. Now, I mentioned before that this is the level that connects to the International Tower. I'm going to show you how. All right, so we just walked through the conference level here at the Hyatt and up one floor to the exhibit level in the International Tower. Right behind me are the embassy halls. This is where you will find science fiction literature, fantasy literature, and the writer's track. We're gonna go up one more. All right, behind me is on the ballroom level here in the International Tower, our International North and South. This is where you'll find some additional main programming and some slightly smaller ballrooms. Fun fact, the very first late night puppet slam was in one of these ballrooms, and it was very, very full. It is now in a much larger space. All right, so our next stop, we've got a bit of a way to walk. We're going to go up these escalators, through the Hyatt lobby, across the Habit Trail into the Marriott, and then down to lobby level. So our next stop is going to be in the lobby level of the Marriott. Ready to go? Let's hit it. So here we are on the lobby level of the Marriott. We've been taking a lot of sky bridges and escalators on our walking tour. So while we're paused here for a second, I just want to go over a little bit of con etiquette about these things. Don't stop on either of them. Don't stop on the sky bridge. No photos on the sky bridge. Do not stop at the bottom of an escalator. If you need to answer a text message, check your schedule, call a friend, step aside. Make sure you get out of the flow of traffic. There are going to be lots of people here, and even though it doesn't look that crowded right now on Wednesday afternoon, by Friday morning it's going to be a different story. Now, here on the lobby level, right behind me, that's the main entrance to the Marriott. To my right, the L501 to 508, that's where you're going to find VIP and Pro and Eternal badge pickup. Also on this level, in the 400s, is the con headquarters for safety. So the big safety office for the convention is right here on the lobby level of the Marriott. You will also find the high fantasy track on this level. We're gonna head down to the marquee level next. The way to keep your levels in order here at the Marriott is to remember that the first three are alphabetical. Atrium, lobby, marquee, ALM. So you're not sure where to go, just remember, alphabetical here at the Marriott. And of these three connected hotels, the Marriott is in the middle. So let's head downstairs. All right, here on the marquee level of the Marriott is the hotel's information booth. There's one of these in each of our 5 host hotels here at Dragon Con. So if you ever have a question, just look for the information booth at whatever hotel you're in. Now, the programming here on the marquee level is the American Sci-Fi and Fantasy Media track. That's current stuff. They are in the front of the building, the direction I'm facing. American Sci-Fi Classics is in the back of the building. And let's head to the back of the building so I can point out where to go for photo ops. Here on the marquee level of the Marriott, there are 2 big ballrooms. The first one to point out is the Marquee Ballroom. That is to my right, and that is where you will find the Walk of Fame. That's where a lot of our media guests will be at their tables, signing autographs. Some of them take selfies. They're there to talk to you. That's where you'll find them, the Walk of Fame. The other one, sort of directly in front of me at this moment, that's the Imperial Ballroom, and that's where you will find some main programming, some of those big, big panels. Downstairs One level below us is where you will find epic photo ops. So if you've got a photo op scheduled, that's where you want to head. The very bottom, I think it's international level. It's the one that's not in alphabetical order here at the Marriott. But we're not going to head down to international. We're going to take the Sky Bridge right behind me over to the Hilton. Let's go. All right, we have made it to the Hilton, and it looks like we have a Mario theme this year. So across the Sky Bridge, I just want to point out that when you enter the Hilton here on the second floor, there are steps down from the Sky Bridge. There's also a ramp. The ramp is technically wheelchair accessible. It meets ADA incline requirements. However, it's sort of narrow. So some people in mobility scooters have difficulty navigating that. Just want to point that out. Now, here on the second floor of the Hilton, this is where you will find the skeptics track, the science track, and the space track. You'll also find main programming in Grand, East, and West, and the salon. Lots of stuff going on here. Upstairs on the third floor, you'll find costuming, the Silk Road, Electronic Frontiers Forum, and workshops. The safety office in this hotel is on the fourth floor in rooms 406 and 407. But for now, we're gonna head downstairs one level. Let's go. All right, we are on the lobby level of the Hilton at the back of the building. This is where you will find group photo shoots. Right behind me is what we refer to as either the Hilton patio or the Hilton steps. So if you see group photo shoots, you're wondering where that is, that's where it is. I know I couldn't find it my first year. What does that mean, Hilton steps? That's what it means, right behind me. Over here to my right is the Crystal Ballroom. That's where you'll find some main programming. And then downstairs from here, there are stairs and escalators, is the Galleria level at the Hilton. That's where you'll find Trek Track, Brit Track, digital media, animation, and anime manga. Now, this is our last stop on our walking tour. We're not getting over to the Cortland Grand, but if you were to go out the front of this building from lobby level, make a left and go 2 blocks. That's where you'll find the Cortland Grand. That is where badge pickup is. That's also where you're gonna find the X-Track, Alt History, Robotics and Makers. Also, Disability Services is over there and the Dragon Con store. Also, you might see some mermaids if you hang out by the pool. And that's it. Anybody have any questions for me? All right, then enjoy your Dragon Con.